Alrighty, and welcome to the Techie and Talon Show presents The R.I.P. This is the second episode of The R.I.P. We are talking about Eragon tonight. Welcome, I'm Techie.
I'm Talon.
Welcome to the show, guys. Should we start getting into this?
First and foremost, I have to say this. If you guys are a fan of Eragon and you like this movie, please understand that I don't understand why this movie is it's so boring and it's so laughable that I don't understand how people can like this movie. It's like a 16% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yep. 60% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's next to Stormbreaker, which I clicked on at the same time. That's like the same percentage.
It was the same year too, as far as I'm aware.
Oh man, but yeah. Let's jump in. So Eragon.
This movie came out in 2006.
Jesus Christ, that's like a
Right.
lifetime ago. That's like I was like in high school still.
Yeah.
I was still in high school. God.
Yeah. It was directed by Stephen Fangmeyer, I think is how you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
Came out in Australia on the 14th of December 2006. Its budget was $100 million USD, and it got 250.4 million USD. So it actually
wasn't box office bomb. It gave money back, but
but
the reception for it was just it's so poor. No one it's universally hated because of just they tried, and I'll say this, they tried to do Lord of the Rings, but in Eragon form. They also this around the time they tried to do Lord of the Rings. And when did the Chronicles of Narnia come out?
I'll find that.
I believe that was the year before. Was that the year before the Chronicles of Narnia came out? Because if that is, I can understand.
Yes, the year before, 2005.
Alan Davis said it made a profit. Yeah, it made a profit, but doesn't mean that anybody liked it. The movie can make millions and millions of dollars back on its budget, but it can still be a terrible movie.
Yeah, it can still be a big box office bomb. I mean, if you really think about it, you can look at the theatrical cut of Batman vs Superman 2. Like
that is universally hated. I'm not a big fan of the theatrical cut. It misses out on so much. I'd rather prefer the Ultimate Edition.
The Ultimate Edition, which made a bit more money than and
it made more money on its it made more money on its DVD sales and its streaming services when people bought it to stream it. It's makes money because it has all of the stuff that the theatrical cut didn't. It's the same thing why people who like the theatrical cut of Justice League. There are some people who like the theatrical cut of Justice League that they don't understand why we pushed for Zack Snyder's Justice League. There are people who actually like it, and I'm like, what is wrong with these people? How the hell can you like this dumpster fire? But again,
now look, I'll be honest. I actually do like watching this movie every now and then, just as a reminder, I think. But I do love myself B grade, really bad movies. This is on my list of movies that I will watch just because it's just fun to watch.
It's me with any Steven Seagal movie. I don't know what it is, but I just like those B grade action movies with Steven Seagal. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of Steven Seagal because I think he's a trash actor nowadays, but his old stuff he did back in the 90s, especially with Under Siege and that, they're some of my favorites. They're my guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
But this one, no, this is not a guilty pleasure for me. You may feel it's a guilty pleasure, but for me, it ain't. This movie, I've laughed at bad movies, but this is the one that I probably laughed at the most. Just, there are only two things in this movie that I like. At the time, so Alan said, at the time it was okay. Agree, it missed a lot of plot holes from the book. You can only put so much in a 2-hour movie. I agree, it does need a remake. See, that's the thing. It's not even a 2-hour movie. It's a 1 hour and 43-minute movie. They couldn't even get to the 2-hour mark. and you cannot fit Eragon. And Techie, how big is the Eragon book? It's huge.
Let's find out how many pages, because I know it is a huge book.
Yeah, I know. In fact, that the next one after it. What's the next one after it? Wasn't it
Eldest.
Prisoner? That wasn't.
No,
Eldest.
Eldest.
Yeah, Eldest was bigger. Was a bigger book.
Eragon was, I think, 544 pages.
Yeah, exactly. And I know for a fact that they tried to fit this. You cannot fit an entire book into one movie. It's hard enough. I mean, if Lord of the Rings can do it and they did it in a 2-hour movie, then why can't Eragon do it? Oh, that's right, because I could say they don't have the budget, but they freaking had the budget. They made their money back.
They made their money back.
They made their money back in sales because everyone was so hyped for this movie, and when they all watched it, they all agree on one thing: this movie sucks. It's terrible. I wasted my money. And
I mean, looking back now, 2006.
It wasn't much back then.
It was probably actually really good back in 2006.
It probably is. It probably was.
As Alan says here. That's weird for me saying that because that's my father. Looking back at 2006, it was probably fan wise good because that was the time. Now these days it is complete and utter garbage. Now I mentioned to you earlier, if you picked up on anything that was a little bit similar.
Yeah, I got that, and I agree with. I listened to that about 4 times, just comparing it, so I could just try to make it into my head that what I was hearing was just it's similar. It's so similar.
I'm actually going to play it because I feel like it needs to. So,
we could be wrong about this.
We were rewatching it. Before the show, and I picked up similarities at least to.
I want to say one thing as well before you do that. I looked it up. The Chronicles of Narnia were made in the year before this movie.
Yeah.
So you can definitely tell that they took hints from the Chronicles of Narnia to make this film. Now, before you start that, there are 2 things in this movie that you said you really like, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
Jeremy Irons as Brom. If they ever do the remake, please cast him as Brom. He's probably the best part of this movie. And also, I forgot the dragon's name. Sabrina? Saphira. Played, voiced by Rachel Weisz. That was great. She was really good in this movie.
She was really good as the voice of Saphira. The design looked cool. Yeah, the design was great.
Lord of the Rings was one big book over 3 movies. The series of books need to be put into a television series similar to Game of Thrones. That's exactly what Matthew said. The series needs to be put into a television series. That's how you do a big book like this.
Yep. Either like Game of Thrones or like The Witcher, at least.
Exactly. Yeah, and The Witcher. And look, putting books into television series, Game of Thrones proved that it can work. Unless you look at the last season, which was a bit of a flop.
It's not even that. Game of Thrones can prove books can make it into a TV series. It was more of the fact the genre can work as a TV series. The fact that they can add dragons really well in design now and CGI on television budgets proves that they can do this.
And they did it well with The Witcher as well. They did it very well. They did it very well. And I was very impressed with it. Yeah. But anyway, you want to play that audio?
Yes, I want to play this clip. So I was watching it. I picked up on some similar stuff here. So there's a whole scene. There's a whole scene where Brom's getting drunk. Would you say? And he starts wisecracking about the old times.
I will say one thing though. Them saying the king's name still makes me laugh. Galbatorax. I'm like, it sounds like some. Like, I know that's the name of the character in the book, but just the characters saying it, just sounds like they're talking about some reflux medication. That's exactly what it sounds like. But
this is the line. This is the scene, pretty much from Eragon, and I'll play it through here. Oh, wait 1 second. Give me.
Don't mind me. But it wasn't always like this, was it? There was a time when our land flourished without cruelty and fear. A time of dragons and dragon riders. Those days are long gone. No one could defeat them. Until there is one of their own. A rider named R.I.P. decided to take all the power for himself and cut down any dragon rider who opposed him. Enough!
So that's. How did that sound, by the way, coming through your end there, Talon?
Sound fun to me. I can hear
Cool.
every word.
Awesome. So that was Brom talking about the old times as dragon riders, and that Galbatorix comes in and pretty much just wants all the power and slaughters all the dragon riders.
Yes.
Now, the bit that I find very familiar is from Star Wars.
Yeah, I was listening to it, and I agree. I actually listened to it a bunch of times, and I was just like, why does this sound so similar?
So here is the part from Star Wars I will be talking about.
Before you start, sorry, Alan said, I would like to see the author revisit the series and write a prequel around the writers and their fall by Galbatorix.
I agree.
See, I agree. I reckon he could. I mean, I reckon he should. I don't know if he has or not in the later books. He never did. They never explained
there were hints and everything like that. Like there were little flashbacks every now and then. But I think what he's trying to say is that we want a series, kind of like what I want with Harry Potter. I want a whole series of the original Order of the Phoenix as well.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know if they would do that because the thing is, now that JK's like kind of been like exacerbated from the whole pop culture scene because of her stance on trans people, I reckon she would do it because no one would want to get it. That's the thing. No one would want to get it.
Unless she comes out and apologizes for everything and all that stuff. Who knows?
Yeah, good luck with that.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt that. She would never do it. She would never freaking do that.
But yeah, so this is the scene from Star Wars that I want to talk. That I think that it's very, very similar.
Mm-hmm. Over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic. Before the Dark Times. Before the Empire. How did my father die? A young Jedi named Darth Vader, who was a pupil of mine until he turned to evil, helped the Empire hunt down and destroy the Jedi Knights. He betrayed and murdered.
And murdered your father.
It's exactly the same. Like I'm just hearing, he had.
It's beat for beat.
It's beat for beat.
It is beat for beat, literally. Beat for beat.
Like
there's the whole going back and looking at the past before the Dark Times and killing power. Darth Vader kills for his power. It's the exact same thing. Now, not only is that the exact same thing with lines as well, but in the scene of Eragon is listening and watching Brom talk about it. And what happens in Star Wars? Luke is looking at Obi-Wan while he's talking about it. Now, both of them, the similarities is Eragon is technically Brom's Padawan, and Luke is Obi-Wan's Padawan.
Yeah.
They're both listening to their masters, talking about the old times, about one evil person slaughtering people for their own power.
So you got Galbatorix, Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is... Would you consider that plagiarism?
I mean, it's both owned by Fox at the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Wait, I remember that. Star Wars used to be owned by...
I hope that you remember that 20th Century Fox owned Star Wars before Disney.
Yeah, I remember that because they bought Lucasfilm.
Yeah, Disney bought Lucasfilm and bought Fox.
Yeah.
That's why Eragon is now in Disney Plus.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to think that, that movie was made way before like Disney Plus and all these subscription services, all these streaming services and stuff like that. And now I can easily, and in order for you to go watch it, you had to either wait for it to like go see in cinemas or wait for it to come out in DVD.
Yeah.
And nowadays, when a movie comes out, it'll go directly. It'll take a bit, but eventually you can stream it and watch it. Same thing happened with Endgame. How long did we wait before we could watch Endgame on Disney Plus?
A while.
A while.
Because Disney Plus wasn't released yet.
Yeah, and then finally we got it, and
but it came out on Blu-ray within like a month after its release. I swear
do you think like DVD stuff is kind of dying off?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Yeah.
Yes and no. Depends on it.
We know for a fact
in the comments here, so Christopher Poloni has taken a break from the fantasy and the inheritance stuff.
He's moved on to sci-fi now. I saw
He's moved on to sci-fi. He hasn't ruled out not going back either for prequels or sequels.
I reckon he should do a prequel instead of doing a sequel to Inheritance.
Yeah,
maybe do a Inheritance. Was his last book, or was it? Was Inheritance the last book?
Technically, yes. Inheritance was the last book in the Inheritance cycle. But he did release a book back in, I think it was 2018. It was a very short book called The Fork, the Witch, and the Worm, I think it was.
Why does that sound like it's literally The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
No, see, for me, I keep thinking that it's the Used song, The Bird and the Worm.
Oh, yes, and The Bird and the Worm. The Used song, another one. It's a good song. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Fork, the Witch, and the Worm is the first book in the Tales from Allegasia.
Okay, so I reckon if you can
collection of short stories.
You could totally do a book based on the riders, the dragon riders before the fall and before
the dark times, before the Empire.
Fuck's sake, I knew you were going to do that. I was trying to get around it. But no, I reckon they should do a book. Just so you can do one book. I'd say about roughly around the same size as maybe perhaps Brissinger or even Eldest. I reckon probably Eldest would be a good size for it, describing, the riders in the beginning before Eragon, when Brom was still a rider, Achilles' dragon. And eventually, Galbatorix basically betrays them, and we see the fall of the riders.
Yeah.
Because we have no idea how many riders were in the beginning. We have no idea how many there were. Apparently, there were Apparently, there were thousands of them. There were thousands of them. There were so many dragons, and I also that part of them when Galbatorix was slaughtering the riders and not the dragons, because that was vicious. They killed the riders, and without the rider, the dragon dies.
Yep.
That's why you never see any dragons. The only two dragons that we ever see is Saphira and Galbatorix's dragon, which
and Durz's ghost
demon. But that's not even. It's not a dragon though. It's not a real dragon. It's just it's dark magic that he summons. I think. Look, this movie. Jeez, man. From a cinematography standpoint, how do you like your slow motion shots? If we
really want to talk about slow motion shots, like we could easily talk about the Snyder Cut with the slow motion as well.
We could do that, but see, the thing is, with the difference between Snyder's slow motion and this one, in Snyder's one, it makes sense. Like, for instance, whenever we see a Flash scene, of course you have to go slow motion.
Course.
The Flash is going so freaking fast. You have to see. Also, the same thing with Superman too.
Yeah.
But some of the scenes, slow motion stuff in this film, they make no sense. They actually make no sense. Also, just the I don't like some of the dialogue in this movie. It's so cringeworthy. It makes me laugh.
Well, for example, the one that I keep laughing at is when Galbatorix says, "I am nothing without my stone."
Talk about that was at the start of the film, wasn't it? Yeah. I remember that. Just the look on John Malkovich's face. Mind you, I can't believe he's in this movie. He did not. Tell me this. Did it look like he wanted to be there?
No, he didn't look like he wanted to be there. You could see that he was only there for the paycheck, and that was about it. And I reckon, because if you have a look at the shots that he's in, most of the time he's looking at the floor.
Yeah,
I don't think he even read the script.
Most of the time he's sitting in his chair. He just lives in that chair. He doesn't get out of that chair. He sleeps in that chair.
But the times he does pretty much walk around, he's looking at the floor. I reckon he's reading the script as he's saying those words.
I wouldn't be surprised. Just the way he looked monotone. It's just like, I am nothing without my stone. I'm like,
yeah.
Dude, can you sound more bored?
Yeah.
And can we talk about Robert Carlyle in this film?
Go
God.
ahead.
What the fuck? Just fucking standing on cliffs and just chanting all this fucking weird shit and just you could definitely tell some of the scenes where you can see the pyrotechnics. You could definitely see that he could just stand on it. He's just like standing up there and it's just like just causing all the flames to disappear like that. And I'm like, you're not even saying a magic word, you're just making the flames appear. What are you doing?
One of my favorite worst lines in this though is, "This is for my uncle."
One of my favorite lines is when he's charging and he's just like, let's finish this. I'm like, oh, good God. Just zero build up. And I'm just like, for your uncle, he didn't even kill your uncle. He killed Brom. Do it for Brom. What even was his uncle's name?
Garrow, his name is.
And also, we never ever see his brother ever again.
It's not his brother. It's his. Pretty sure it's his cousin, and we don't see him ever again in the movie. No,
but in the books, you do. Yeah, in the books,
he's a major part in the series.
Yeah, he has a major part in the series. But well, no, for one thing, I did look up.
I'm pretty sure ends up marrying Arya. I'm pretty sure in the books.
Yeah.
I think I could be wrong. Dad, if you're watching, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. But no, another thing as well
I'm pretty sure. I think he also was a dragon. I think he ended up getting his own dragon. I think by the end of the series, I can't remember.
But he's not a dragon rider, though.
No. I'm pretty sure he did though. What was his brother's name again?
I'm trying to let me Google it. God, I can't remember his freaking brother's name. That's how forgettable this movie is. I can't even remember the freaking brother's name. I laughed at the ending finale, the fight when they go to the Vada. Also, another thing as well, what a terrible freaking hideout for the Vada. Literally swim under a freaking waterfall. Oh, here we are. Hi, you found us. Are you kidding me? They found that hideout far more better. Yeah, 16% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, Uncle Garrow is his name. And Roran.
All right.
Is
Roran, yeah. So Eragon was supposed to be the first of a franchise based on Paolini's Inheritance Cycle book series, with Fangmyra shooting both Eldest and Brisinga back to back. However, following the poor reception of Eragon on this release, the planned franchise was cancelled. Yeah, we were meant to get. Fangmyra was shooting both Eldest and Brisinga back to back. However, after the Eragon was released, the poor reception for it was terrible. It was that fucking bad. The acting was called lame, and I agree. It felt, and I'm agreeing with what they said in the Orlando Weekly. Stilted and lifeless, and it was this. Everything that they're saying on Wikipedia right now is fucking true. You know, the Las Vegas Weekly called it wooden. The dialogue was also criticized, labeling it silly. Every single point in this friggin'
and look, here are some things that from the book that I think should have been in this movie to bring just to drag it out, just to drag out the story flesh it out. And for example, Garrow doesn't die right then and there.
No, he doesn't.
He gets injured, and Eragon is trying to, bring him back and look after him. He does eventually die.
Yeah.
But he doesn't die right there and then.
No, he doesn't. He literally doesn't
And
die there and then.
there's a deleted scene because I have the DVD as well because I wanted to see some deleted scene stuff, and there is a deleted scene that I feel like should have been in the movie, and that is actually there's a couple of deleted scenes. One, when Roran leaves, he leaves with his partner, which is
he does.
The butcher's daughter, right? He leaves with her. That's a huge scene. That was a huge setup for what was supposed to come in Eldest.
Yeah.
There's also a scene, I'm pretty sure, to do with more of the butcher, and I'm pretty sure he's getting questioned by the Razaks.
You know what's even funnier? There was a fucking video game tie-in for this.
Yeah, I got the game, and I fucking love that game.
It didn't get good reception. It was poorly received by critics. They fucking
But it was
slammed
better
it.
than the movie.
Anything was better than that dumpster fire, let me tell you. Look, honestly, how the hell can you... seriously, how the hell can they screw this up? You have the book there. The author's still alive. The author's not dead.
This is what I also picked up on too. And I found this funny. The map behind Galbatorix on the wall, it's literally just an expanded version of the map that's in the book.
That's just lazy. And also the end. Also
stretched out the map on the book to that.
How lazy can they be with this movie?
Now, when did Eragon come out?
2006.
No,
the movie, the book. Oh yeah, not the movie. Oh god, was it like 2001, 2000? 2002. 2002.
Okay, so the book came out in 2002. You know how old he was, though? This is why I understand a little bit more that because of his age and everything. So when this book first got published, right, he was 16.
Yeah, he was 16, and he's now
16.
He's now 37. He's 37 now.
So in 2006, he would have been.
He's got the Guinness World Record for the youngest author of a best-selling book series on January 5th, 2011. So he
would have been 20. He would have been 20 when the movie, or actually technically 19 because they would have shot it a year before.
I just don't understand.
He wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah,
he's a 19-year-old at that point. And he wouldn't know what to do. All he knows is that his book is being turned into a motion picture.
Yeah. It saddens me that when he probably saw its work and he probably saw people criticizing the movie. The thing is, when people saw that movie, they criticized it because it didn't follow the book. They ignored so many key aspects of the book. Like the fact is of so many different points and plots and all in favor of just trying to shove this movie into a 1-hour film. You can't do that. I don't care about those extra 43 minutes, okay? What I'm watching this movie as an Eragon fan, and I'm laughing at scenes. That's bad. If I'm laughing at key scenes, like, for instance, key death scenes, the only one I didn't laugh at, the only one that I did feel that was justified was Brahms. That's the only one that I feel justified because that was
the funeral scene for Brahms is really nice. I really like that scene.
I didn't like the funeral scene for his uncle. There, buried. As I hear it, the king's burial, and I'm like, that was so rushed. That's not like that in the book.
No, but it is also a Brum move.
Of course he would do that. Also, what a way to just, oh man, just, this movie's terrible. I'm just gonna say it.
Mm.
This movie sucks. It's such a travesty that this 2006 and how many years now since it's been 2006 since we last got an Eragon?
Mate, well, in 2016 it was 10 years.
Jesus, now it's close to 20 years now.
Close to 20 years, and we still haven't had a reboot. And this series is one of those ones that is crying out for a reboot.
Yeah, not a movie. I don't want a movie of this.
This needs a reboot.
We don't need a movie of this. Yeah, that's the thing. You don't need a movie of this.
Unless they make it a 3-hour film.
Would they make it a 3-hour film?
I don't know. You know, you're starting to see a lot of movies these days make it to the 3-hour mark if the story is there. If the story is there, and the story is there, the story is there. You can easily do this in a 3-hour movie. Yes, you will still lose some plot, you know, some parts from the book, but it will make it a lot better than an hour and 43 minutes. They couldn't even make it to an hour and 45.
It couldn't even make it. Like, I still laugh at this, and I think this is the best part. Okay, and this is what scares me the most. It also is sad as well. The ending where we get a close up of Yalvathorax, and I will say one thing though.
And his dragon.
Yeah, that was cool.
They set it up. They set it up, but
and we never got it. But the thing is, I had to laugh because I love it so much. His fucking fingernails, man. Cut your fucking fingernails, for God's sake. They would. But as a person who does special effects stuff, I paused on that scene, closed out his fingernails. You could fucking tell they were just stuck on.
Oh yeah,
you could just tell they're not his real fingernails.
Yeah.
Also, I love the sword that he has too. It's literally a black and gold version of Eragon's sword.
I do love his sword too. In 2006, there was actually a proper replica sword that was created for a limited run, and it's the one thing that I still to this day want to try and find.
I know that the thing is, I know the Man-at-Arms team made Zarok. They made the blade Zarok. They made that blade. I'll find that link, and I'll show you it.
Templates is where the like templates for foam building of it, but I don't want a foam. I don't want a foam build of it. I want the actual steel version. Yeah,
I agree. I'm gonna share this video with you. I'm just gonna share this video with you. Give me a second. I'm just gonna share that with you. It's just a movie that you said to me, and I agree with you on this. This is your X-Men Origins. This is
my X-Men Origins.
This is your X-Men Origins. This is a film that I know that you are not a fan of.
I'm not a fan of it as an Eragon movie. I'm a fan of it as
it's not an Eragon movie. It's literally a paste. It's a copy version of Lord of the Rings with Chronicles of Narnia and Harry Potter shit. And it doesn't work. Yeah. You cannot take aspects from different universes and try to fit it into a movie. You can't take aspects from Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and the Chronicles of Narnia and shove it into a 1 hour and 43 movie. Everything about this movie, those fight scenes were the worst fight scenes I've ever seen. And I've seen some fucking bad fight scenes. The worst sword fights ever. The worst fucking sword clanging sounds I have ever heard. The sound department were not on that day. They were drunk in the fucking back storeroom and hitting pipes together to make those sounds. You could barely hear them. Just when a sword hits another sword, there's usually a loud noise. When swords clash, all you hear is a ding. It's like, where the hell's the sword sounds? I know this is meant like, is this for children? It's rated M. It's a mature movie. Give me realistic sword swings.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me realistic sword sounds. Why the fuck? If they want to, that's one of the things they've got to take from Lord of the Rings. Give us realistic sword sounds. That's exactly what they did, especially with the Fellowship of the Ring at the ending fight between Eragon. Between Eragon and between Eragon and the lead Uruk-hai, those sword sounds were real. They were real sword sounds. And then when you watch the, I wouldn't even call it a fight. That is not a fight. it's I call it quotation fight. More like hey, let me cast magic at you. What are you gonna do? Keep flying in a single straight line.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the book too. This is one of my major gripes too. Pretty sure Saphira didn't automatically turn into an adult dragon in less than 10 seconds when she was flying.
Those fucking effects of her just turning into a large dragon, just like fucking this flame sound of the clouds. They added the clouds. They added the clouds.
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
You're
They
right.
added clouds to hide the fucking bad CGI that they were doing behind them.
Yeah.
Just to hide them. You can notice it.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've read the book.
Same.
The book series. And that's why with some of the stuff with the books, I'm still not sure about. I can't really remember because it's been a while. But I'm positive it did not take 10 seconds for her to turn into an adult dragon. It took months.
Yeah, it took months. All right, I want to notice if you paid attention to this, okay? This is something that I noticed, and I had to go back a couple of times and just see if I was right, and I was. The bit where Aya's character shows Eragon the dragon armor. You see all how different it is.
Yeah.
And when you see Saphira in her armor, it's different armor.
It is too.
Did you notice that? You know how I noticed? Because when you see the armor hang up stand, it had eye holes. It had a full face cover. When you see the one that she's wearing, it's completely different.
Yep.
There's no face cover.
Yep.
What the fuck? Why would you do that? It's so dumb. They literally changed that design probably because they realized that they couldn't animate her face around the steel, so they had to take it away. And also, you know how she gets wounded by the demon, by that dark magic, by that bat? If she was wearing that armor, it would have fucking protected her more.
Exactly.
But no, the animated department was like, oh shit, we can't actually use that armor because we can't animate it. Just do this one. It's fine. No, we noticed it. I noticed it.
The more I think about this movie, it is definitely a ripoff of A New Hope.
Yeah.
Think about it. Aya is she's an elven princess.
She, Princess Leia. She was held captive.
She was held captive, and they went to go and rescue her.
They went to go rescue her, and
the only difference is she doesn't say, "Aren't you a little short to be a dragon rider?"
No, she doesn't say anything. She just stares at him and.
Oh, okay.
She's sitting on a table like this, going, That's what she does in this movie. Also, her fight scenes are the worst. She can't fight. There's a scene towards the end of the movie where they do an action shot where they just she's just going against one of the, I can't remember the fucking whatever they are. They look like fucking orcs, but they're not orcs. She's just ha, and just holds it there for a minute. Yeah, not the Razaks, the friggin'
the
Urgles. The Urgles, yeah, that's it, yeah. When she's fighting an Urgle, she does a downward chop, but the camera stays there for an extra 3 minutes after she's just holding it. I swear to God, that's a fucking mistake. They weren't supposed to do that, but they did it, and they fucking kept it. It's hilarious. She's like, hang on, let me get something.
You want to know why? Because that's probably...
She's just
that
like that.
Probably their 43-minute mark. So
yeah, I know they probably did those certain shots just to get it to that 43-minute mark.
Yeah.
And the thing that gets me the most is just how quickly Saphira heals.
This whole movie. It just goes bang, 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 bang. No, the book goes here. And then here.
Yeah.
And then here. And then here.
It takes waves. This one's just like, hey, oh, this scene, hey, oh, wrong step, hey, final battle, ending, done.
It was pretty much like the major points.
Yeah, they ignored all of the...
Remember this bit in the book? Good, because I hope you do, because this was a major scene. Oh, and now here's this major scene. And then this major scene.
And also,
big fight.
And also, how quickly he learned to use Brissinger.
Oh, right. That is one of my favorite things, though, where Brom is just like, playing with the rock, trying to light the fire, and he
he's
just
just
says it quietly. He goes, "What did you do?" "I lit a fire."
Calm down. I got the stones and I used to light a fire. He's just looking at him suspiciously, like,
Yeah.
And the thing is, one thing I noticed as well, he doesn't even know what Brissinger is yet.
No.
How the hell can he go, what did you just do? Like he knows what it was. I'm like, oh, fuck right off. Also, if dragons are meant to power the riders, why doesn't Saphira tell him about magic?
Exactly.
The fuck you holding out for, dragon? Teach me some motherfucking magic. Come on.
Is it bad when DreamWorks does a better version of Eragon than Eragon did?
It's not even Eragon. It's fucking How to Train Your Dragon. More like
Exactly.
how to do a better movie with dragons.
Exactly.
And it's not even live action. It's animated.
Actually, that would kind of be cool. I
wouldn't want it.
I'd be down anime style.
I would be down anime style, but at the same time, though, never do it live action because I know whatever director they get, they'll fuck it up.
Unless it's a series.
Yeah, true.
I feel like we should be talking. We've brought it up multiple times about a series. Let's get into it. First of all, which company would you want to do the series?
Simple. Definitely not DreamWorks because I'm not the biggest fan of DreamWorks. I'd go Pixar. Let it be Pixar.
As a live action series.
Not as a live action series. It should be like, for instance, the Del Toro series. They did a Del Toro series. Remember?
Okay. No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, the Del Toro actually did a animated series, and it was actually really good. And every single episode was based on a book.
Okay.
And
no,
if they
I personally think they should do live action series. If anything, HBO. If not HBO, then definitely Netflix should pick it up. I don't think Disney will do it on Disney Plus. I just don't. The story is not right for Disney.
No, it's not. It's not a Disney movie. It was never meant to be a Disney movie. And anything that Disney does, like
then again, though, in saying that though, after this week's episode of Falcon the Winter Soldier, though, they can get into those darker elements. It just won't be as violent as what the books kind of are.
Just do a Shining series, but it's all Disney related, and make Mickey make him Jack Torrance. I'm coming for you, Mickey!
Casting wise, who would you cast in the series?
Well, first and foremost, when it comes to Brom, I don't care. Give me Jeremy Irons again. I
agree. Jeremy Irons. He hasn't aged a day since this movie.
No, he hasn't. I mean, we saw him in Zack Snyder's Justice League. He was incredible in that. But casting-wise, who could play Eragon? Well, I already know who you would cast as Durza. You said Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah. Tom Hiddleston definitely is Durza.
Who could play Eragon, though? Daniel Radcliffe.
No. Oh, actually, it's not a bad idea.
Can we get Tom Holland? That would be interesting.
I'd actually kind of.
I wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind, I wouldn't ask the original actor to come back who played Eragon because he's like 33 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 33 now. He can't do it. But there's a bunch of actors that could do it.
Unless you change Rowan's age and make him Rowan.
True. That could work.
That would kind of be good.
That
way he kind of gets into the world that should have been for him.
Yeah.
And he still has a major part in the series then.
Yeah. I cannot think of someone who could be cast as Eragon because it's
you did bring up Tom Holland, and I actually don't dislike it.
I don't dislike it, but again, a lot of people have been wanting him in cast in many different roles. Like, for instance, some people have wanted him as Milo Thatch in Atlantis. Same thing with Zendaya as as I can't remember the freaking lead, the female character out of Atlantis, The Lost Empire.
So on IMDb, somebody has made a Eragon fan cast.
They have?
Yep.
Who
And
have they got?
the one thing that stays true is Brom.
Jeremy Irons.
And
Yeah,
so
because
it's Jeremy Irons. And it says here, as Brom, he can stay. He was very good.
he was very good. He was very good as Brom. He played
Now,
because Jeremy Irons is an amazing actor.
Now, this I don't really agree with because of their age. Liam Hemsworth as Eragon. Chris Hemsworth as Roran.
What? No, they're brothers. You can't do just no. Just like for a moment, he comes back as Thor. It's like brother. Aye. Who
as Arya, Emma Watson.
I can't say no to that one. Actually, I can't. Just is she when she goes to confront Galbatorix, she just does a whole UN speech going, "Our rights." I'm just being a joke. It's just a joke. Who have they got for Durzen?
For Garrow, right? Sean Bean.
Oh, come on! He dies in every movie. Yeah, kind of makes sense. Okay.
The voice of Thorn, Troy Baker.
The voice of what?
Thorn.
Thorn.
Pretty sure Thorn's. Who was Thorn?
Is that Galbatorix's dragon?
Let me double check.
I'm not too sure if that was Galbatorix's dragon.
Thorn was a red male. Bonded to Murta.
Yeah, that's Murtaugh's dragon.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wasn't in the film though.
No.
He died before that.
Yeah, I believe so.
That would be interesting though.
Yeah, I'd be keen for Troy Baker to voice him. I love Troy Baker. I mean, who doesn't love Troy Baker?
Who was cast as Galbatorix?
Galbatorix was cast by is Mark Strong.
Yeah, Mark Strong. Oh fuck yeah! He's the lead villain from Shazam.
Yep, and Captain Smith in 1917. He was also Merlin in The Kingsman.
Yep, he was. And who have they got for Durzen?
For Durza, they have got Joseph Fiennes.
Joseph Fiennes? That's Ralph Fiennes' brother.
Yeah.
I'm actually liking them, except the ones for Eragon and Roran.
As Auric, Peter Dinklage.
I'm not surprised by that.
As Ajad, same guy from the first one, from this one, because he was good. He was good as his character.
Dimogen, another guy talking about. He's great. He was great. Who have they got for the voice of Saphira?
As Elva, was great. Chloe Grace Moretz.
That's who?
Elva.
Who was Elva? Which one was that?
I don't believe she was in the movie.
No, she wasn't. But I need to. Yeah. Who have they got for the voice of Saphira?
Grey Griffin.
Grey Griffin. I do not know who that is.
Yeah, you do.
I do?
She voiced Selena Kyle in Arkham City.
Oh! Yeah, I'm for it.
Yep.
I'm for that. Hey, Techie, how do you feel about a break for a little bit?
Yeah, we can do a quick break.
Yeah, jump on for a break. I need to get
one more before we go. In this, actually, there's two. As one's a voice, one's a character. As Yuma Roth, the voice of Yuma Roth, Tamara Morrison.
Yeah. I'm for that. Morrison's great. She's a great actress.
Actress?
Yeah, isn't she an actress?
Tamara Morrison.
I don't know that name.
Django Fett, dude.
Oh shit! Sorry, I thought you said Tamara Morrison. For God's sake.
No, Tamara.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. I'm for that. Django
And
Fett. Yes, please.
as Blodgarm, Nikolaj Costa from Game of Thrones.
I really thought you were going to say Nicolas Cage for a second there.
No.
Can we get Nicolas Cage to be Galbatorix? Just lose his mind whenever something goes wrong.
I'd actually would be interested to see what he would be as Brom, to be honest.
I want to take his face. Oh, I want to take his face. Oh. Sorry,
right,
that's my favorite sign. All right.
All right, guys, we'll be back. We're just going to take a couple-minute break, and we'll be back, and we will be ripping into it more.
And then we'll give it our final rating.
Yeah, definitely.
All right,
guys. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
See you in 5 minutes, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
right, and we are back.
Hello.
Hello there.
Oh, I see what you did there. I don't know. I actually like it when Sir Alan says it. He's just like, "Hello there." I'm like, I don't know. I love. Don't get me wrong. I love Ewan McGregor, but I like the original Obi-Wan voice who said
That's
it.
fair. That's fair.
He's the first that said it before Grievous, before any of them.
Yeah.
Though year-wise, so it's pretty hard. Anyway, let's jump back in.
Yeah, let's jump back in. So
It's more this dumpster fire of a film.
one of my favorite things was to do with the Brom funeral ish thing. I think that was beautifully shot.
It was. It was beautifully shot. It was wonderful. Like they did that scene. That's the scene that I loved because they did the whole. I love when Spirit says he should receive. He should die the way it was intended as a rider, and she rid with him as he passed.
Yeah.
And the thing is, his original dragon was called Saphira as well.
Was it?
Yes, it was.
I
looked it up.
That's
Because
right.
in the books, Brom
Isn't she the sister or the daughter of?
I think so. Because
Brom?
I think so. See, Brom is actually Eragon's father.
That's right.
In the books,
That's right.
Yeah, Brom is actually Eragon's father. Not
That's
a lot of
right.
people know. Yeah, not a lot of people know that he is. So Brom Holcomson was a male human, a former dragon rider, and the founder of the Varden. In the third book, it is revealed by Oramus that he is Eragon Shadeslayer, Kingslayer's father, a secret that he and Saphira II have been keeping upon upon Brom's insistence. So basically, Brom didn't want Eragon to know that I'm your father. Which is sad because I reckon Brom wanted to tell him, but he wanted to protect his son. That's why he stayed in that village so close, because he had to protect his son. Because if the king found out that a dragon rider gave birth and had another son, the king would come and kill him.
Yeah. Yeah. Galbatorix was one brutal motherfucker. He really was. And
he was vicious. He killed everybody.
And the way this movie just portrays him, they portray him like he's a joke.
No,
you don't feel threatened by him. In fact, you feel more threatened by Durza than you fucking do with the actual king. The way the movie pretty much plays it out, they pretty much play out like that Durza, because technically Durza was the main villain of this movie. But you get more of that feeling that Durza was technically Galbatorix. You feel more of him, the Shade, being the one that killed the Dragon Riders than you actually do by the fucking guy that did it.
So Galbatorix's dragon is called Shurikan. He basically forced the dragon under dark magic to serve him.
Yeah.
So basically, he's a big fucking dragon because he was from an elder rider, meaning a powerful rider.
So it's funny you mention this. So real universe connections, and this is on the Inheritance fandom page.
Yeah.
Comparisons. First one, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Second one, Avatar.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Third one is The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Fourth one is The Dragon Bone Chair. I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, I know.
The fifth one, Harry Potter. Sixth one, The Eye of the World. Seventh one, Real Life.
Yep.
I have to agree with every single one of those.
I agree. I'm checking because he was defeated by the use of an empathy stone cast by Eragon without the use of the ancient language and aided by because eventually Eragon managed to cast magic without the use of ancient language, meaning he could cast spells by I think he could just think it.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So to anyone that hasn't really read the books, I'll give you a little history thing. This is kind of, so before Eragon was born, Selena fled Morzan's castle to give birth to him in Carver Hall because she wanted to secure a better life for him and shield him from his influences of the Broadreen Empire. When she arrived, she asked to stay with her brother Garrow and remain there until she gave birth 5 months later. Garrow and his wife Marianne agreed to raise the boy, and Selena's only condition was that he would be named Eragon. Then she returned to Morzan's castle, where she died.
Yeah. So the thing is, I love what it says in it, because I'm just looking at reading Galbatorix. It says, role in the Eragon movie. In the movie, Galbatorix is portrayed by John Malkovich. Throughout the movie, he is seen giving orders to Durza in his throne room. In the movie, he has a dragon-like throne and a map nearby, which at the end of the movie, he cuts down, revealing Shura Khan behind it. He's depicted as calm and very intellect in the movie, and only reveals his frustration at the end of the film after Durza's failure. Most of his backstory was left out, and his aims to kill Eragon as well as Saphira, as opposed to trying to use Saphira to recreate the dragons, as in the case in the book. So basically, he wanted to kill Saphira. He didn't want to actually recapture her to recreate the dragons.
No.
He did, however, refer to Saphira's egg as a stone, that he suffers without his stone. As well as that Durza was not to prolong his suffering. You're going to prolong my suffering. I'm sorry, John Malkovich's Galbatorix. That's poor casting.
It's a poor casting choice.
It's a poor casting choice, because literally, when you read about Galbatorix, he's arguably one of the most powerful magicians in. How do you pronounce the land's name again? Algathasia.
Algasia.
Yeah, Algasia. So having 1,000 dragons.
Or Algasia. Algasia or Algasia, yeah. Yeah. Algasia.
So basically, he can. You know what's really cool? If they did this in the movie, fuck, he'd be such a presence. He discovered the true name of the ancient language, giving him complete control over the language of magic and those who use it. With it, he can restrict other spellcasters from using magic via the ancient language, break head to for unbreakable oaths sworn in said language, and remove any spells, such as wards cast using the ancient language. So basically, he is a fucking powerhouse.
Yeah. He is a huge fucking powerhouse.
And the thing is, his possible greatest weakness was his lack of compassion and understanding of love. His continued abuses of Murtok and Thorn estranged them, and his inability to see the effect Nazaria had on Murtok allowed Murtok's true name to change. His every act of cruelty gave more power to the empathy spell. When it was cast, eventually giving it enough power that the pain it caused Galbatorix forced him to destroy himself. That's the thing. The way Eragon destroyed him, everyone thought, it was like climactic battle. No, Galbatorix committed suicide.
Yeah.
Because when Eragon tried to cast the empathy spell on him to make him see the error of ways, it was increased by the power of the dragons. And also, he cast it without the use of the ancient language.
Yeah.
And increased it. He eventually basically caused so much pain and suffering to overwhelm Galbatorix, he committed suicide because of it. Which is insane.
Exactly. Yeah. And this movie, they didn't show anything. They
I wasn't afraid of Galbatorix. If you had done him right, like they did in the books, I would have liked him.
Exactly. And now, what makes me really upset is that this series, like book series, is a fantastic series.
It is a great series.
It is a bit of a read. It is very wordy. I got my partner to read it, and she really liked it, but she needed a break after reading the first one just because of the way it's written. It's literally it's very descriptive. Like, he walks through the leaves, feeling the air on his back and his brown clothes, everything like that. Like, you can't really gain a picture because he's telling you exactly how these characters are.
Yeah, I agree.
And I get that. But if you haven't read this series, I highly recommend you to read it. But what makes me sad is that anytime I mention the series now to anybody to go and read,
the movie comes
people go, "Oh, that movie that came back, like that was out a while ago." I'm like, yeah, no, that's a pile of shit.
No. That
That's
movie is a pile of shit.
it's a pile of shit.
It is
Don't
a pile
even
of
fucking
shit.
watch it after reading it,
Yeah.
or read it and and then watch it, and then you'll understand why I call it a piece of shit.
It is a piece of shit. Like people need to know more about this movie. They probably do, and they probably just left it to die. And you know what? Good, for good reason. I'm glad this movie's been left to die.
And the thing
It is a
even
terrible
on Disney
movie.
Plus, it's hidden. You have to literally
You
type
have to
in the
search
name.
for it. Yeah, you have to search for it because that's what I did to find it. Because I was just like, oh man, this movie is bottom of the barrel. One of the worst book movies I've possibly ever seen, and I've seen a lot.
I have to say, and this is kind of like an announcement for another RIP episode that we'll be talking about. But I would rather watch this over Vampire Academy.
Yep, I agree on that one. That's our next one. We got to rip into. I know.
Yeah, it's our next one that we'll be getting into either next week or in a couple of months' time, maybe.
Yeah, we got a bunch of things, but
we will be having a guest star on that show.
Hmm.
When we talk about it, it'll be my partner. She is a huge Vampire Academy fan, and she absolutely hated that pile of shit.
Another thing as well, you guys. Yeah, you guys have to understand when it comes to doing this segment, we actually have to watch these movies. Do we get any enjoyment out of it? Probably not, because it's terrible. Sometimes we do, but again, we have to do this and we'll get an understanding. So when we come on here, we don't leave any unturned stones. This movie sucks. I'm getting it.
I'm nothing without those stones.
Techie, what's your final rating for this? I want to bury this.
Okay, so my final rating, as an Eragon movie, -10.
Oh.
As a B grade movie, I give it a 1.
For me as an Eragon fan, I'm going to give it a -8. The only reason why it's 2 up is because of the 2 reasons to make this movie good. That make this movie, that really helped this movie a bit is the voice cast for Saphira and Brom. That's it. The rest
I have to agree on that.
The rest of it can just burn the pits of hell.
For me, it doesn't help it. It doesn't help it.
That's the only things that make me feel happy. That's the only things that make me happy. It doesn't help the movie. I just like those 2. The rest can fuck off. A B grade movie? No, it's not my B grade movie. 0.
Fair enough.
It sucks. This movie needs to stay buried and forgotten about. You wanna watch Eragon? Read the goddamn books, or we'll get a fucking audio novel for it. Don't watch this movie.
Yeah. Definitely go to Audible because it is a long book. So if I were you, I'd definitely go the Audible version.
And you can just sit back and just listen to it instead of just get the book. The book's a beautiful book. It's a good book to look at, to have on your piece. But if you just want to listen to it, you can.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. So pretty much just announced it before, but we will be doing a rip into Vampire Academy. My partner will be joining. Yeah. Probably not next week. I'm
really busy. We've got
to find a way to actually be able to watch it. I thought it was on Netflix, but it's been taken down. We have to find a way to be able to watch it. But my partner will be joining that show as a special guest because she is a huge Vampire Academy fan and she wants to rip into that piece of shit of a movie.
I don't blame you.
Exactly.
I don't blame you.
But in the meantime, we won't have a Saturday and Sunday show this weekend. We are at Supernova.
Which, holy shit, I can't believe it, dude.
We're finally going to a con.
We're going to a con. We're going to a con. We've got one more day tomorrow.
It's been 2 years. 2 years for me since the last con.
It's been a year because you didn't go to Gold Coast Supernova last year, didn't you?
No.
No, jeez. I really cannot believe that we're going to a convention.
I know.
And you?
I can't believe it. I know. I can't believe it. I'm actually really looking forward to Saturday.
There was one thing though I really want to talk about. Did you this is something funny and hilarious. The new Fast and Furious 9 trailer came up. They're teasing space travel, dude. Like I fucking talked about last.
I know.
Last,
We'll be talking about that on Monday.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on Monday.
We're gonna do a Monday show to balance out the Sunday show.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be so tired because I finish up TAFE that day at 4 o'clock. I'm gonna be so tired.
I'm gonna finish work at 6:30. What are you talking about?
At least we're doing an 8:30 show. You're fine.
Exactly.
All right. Well, guys.
Guys, in the meantime, yeah. So we won't have our show on Saturday and Sunday, but we will have one on Monday.
But if you guys want to meet us,
I feel like we should probably do something for Falcon the Winter Soldier after last week's episode.
Yeah, no, but we don't have time. By the time I get back
maybe
from
we might add it into our Monday show.
Yeah, we totally should.
We might do a little short one on that.
Yeah,
but if anything, if you are watching on Twitch or YouTube, go and subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Techie and Talon Show. If you are also on Twitch and YouTube, follow us on Facebook, guys. We also live stream on there every time we do a show. Also, go on to our Spotify. This is where you'll find all the shows. I've just finished another episode. I'm still a little bit behind, guys, but it's quite busy at the moment. My life's just hectic. So
April's been a really busy month for both of us. It's not only that we've had conventions, and then for me, I've gone back to TAFE, so I'm going to be flat out. And then at the end of the friggin' month, I'm going away for 3 days.
Exactly.
Actually, no, 4 days. I've gone away for 4 days.
4 days. So the other episodes are making their way up there now. I've just finished episode 7 of our regular show. So that'll be going up later tonight. But in the meantime as well, go follow our Instagram.
Hell yeah.
And we will probably be posting photos from Supernova on there. And go follow our Twitter at Talon_show. Hey. And also on Twitch. We are on Twitch now. So we started a gaming stream last week. I haven't got to do it this week. I was streaming Republic Commando running through the PS5. Beautiful game. Still love that game to death. But yeah, so we are at Supernova on Saturday. So if you want to meet us, just hit us up. Try and find us. We will be there. Talon, you'll be there both days. Am I correct?
Yeah, I'm going to be there both days. But definitely worth it. I've missed cons so much. Definitely going to be COVID safe. Have to be, especially this year. It's been last year was not a really good year for everybody, really. And now that, I feel like a sense of normality is coming back. But at the same time, though, still got to be careful. 100%.
You still have to be careful. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, guys, that's it for us. I'm going to go. I'm getting tired, and I'd like to go to bed soon. Probably not. Probably going to get bed another hour. Who knows? But we hope you guys enjoyed the rip. This has been a good little segment we've been enjoying. We like ripping into old movies because they deserve some recognition as well. Like we said, we're doing Vampire Academy. Whether or not we do that for next week or in a few months' time, we're still unsure. But I will say one thing, though, on the cards, we're going to rip into Dragon Ball Evolution. Yes, I know we have to watch Dragon Ball Evolution again. I know Techie's not looking forward to it. I'll tell you one thing, I'm not looking forward to it because I despise that movie. But yeah, thanks for joining. Always, we hope you enjoyed the show.
Exactly. We hope you enjoyed the show, guys. So yeah, meet us. Keep an eye out for us on Saturday at Supernova at the Gold Coast. Until then, guys, we will see you Monday. All right, Techie out.
Talon out.
See yous.
Bye, guys.